Hey, welcome back. Now we have this behavior tree going and it's looking pretty good. So far we have patrolling behavior and we have chasing behavior where the enemy aggroes and runs towards the character. Now, as soon as the enemy gets up to the character, it just kind of stands there. And what we like is attacking capabilities. Now we've created this in attack range Boolean key, and it does have the correct value at the correct time. When the enemy is within range of the character, it is true. And when the enemy is not within range of the character, in attack range is false. So how are we going to use this in order to attack the player? Now, if only we could drag off and click the drop down next to tasks and just magically have a task called attack. That would make our lives a lot easier. Unfortunately, there's no built-in attack task because Unreal Engine doesn't know what you want the enemy to do when it attacks. For this reason, we're going to create a new task. We're going to make a custom task that will allow our enemy to attack. And in order for our enemy to attack, we're going to need functionality for that. For example, we need our enemy to swing its weapon, and we need to have a function that will allow us to play an animation to swing the weapon. So we're going to set this up in this video. Let's go ahead and take a look at our Paragon Grux folder and go to Characters, Heroes, Grux, and Animations and see if we can find some attacks. So go ahead and search for attack. Now here we have some attacks. Here's a primary attack LA fast. And it looks like it's the Grux character just swinging one of those weapons. We also have some montages. So here's a primary attack 4 strikes montage. Let's take a look at that. There's 4 different strikes all in the same animation, it looks like. There's a primary attack LA fast, and that's just the single attack animation there. And then it looks like it has the right hand versions of these. So what I'd like to do is create our own attack montage so that way we know exactly what animations are in it. We can go ahead and name those montage sections and we can use any animations we want. So why don't we go ahead and create a montage. So I'm going to go back into our _game folder /enemies and go into animations, and we're going to create a montage here. So let's go ahead and do right click, go to animation and animation montage, and we're going to select the Grux skeleton here, and let's call this enemy attack. Now we have an enemy attack montage now, and we can give this some montage sections. I'm going to search for attack. Now we have primary attack LA fast. I assume LA stands for left arm. I'm going to drag that in, and I'm going to look for primary attack RA fast and drag that one in. And since we have the fast and normal, why don't we go ahead and drag in all of them? So we have primary attack LA. Let's drag that in. And we have primary attack RA. All right, so that gives us 4 different attack animations, and we can give these their own montage sections. So I'm going to go ahead and right-click right here on the strip where we have our default montage section name. I'm going to select New Montage Section. And I'm going to call this first one Attack L Fast. And the L will be for the left arm, and fast will be because we have a fast and a slow. So here's our Attack L Fast. I'm going to go ahead and take this montage section, drag it all the way to the beginning, and then drag the default one out and remove that by right-clicking and delete montage section. Now I'm going to hold Control and scroll up with the mouse wheel just to zoom in and make sure that we have the correct animation section. So the first one I have primary attack LA fast. I'm calling this one attack L fast. I'm going to right click and create a new montage section and call this one attack R fast. And I'm going to control mouse wheel to zoom in and make sure I get this right here in between the 2 animations. So we have attack L fast, attack R fast, and here we have the primary attack LA. This is the slower version. So I'm going to go ahead and right click new montage section and just call this one attack L And I'm just going to zoom in and make sure that's right there on the edge between the two animations. And then finally, I'll right-click, create a new one, and call this attack R. And just like the others, I'm going to zoom in and stick it between the two animations. Now, we have 4 animation sections attacking for left and right arms, and we have a regular speed and we have a fast speed. That gives us options. Now, we're going to want to use a slot for this animation montage. So down here at the bottom right, I'm going to click Anim Slot Montage. This is the Montage Manager. I'm going to click plus to add a new slot, and we're going to create a new slot. Now, we can call this slot Attack Slot. And right here for the drop-down next to slot, I'm going to select slot name and use Attack Slot. Now we're using the attack slot with this montage. I'm going to go ahead and click Save. Now, in order to be able to use this slot, we need to go back into the Grux Anim BP and go into the Anim graph and go all the way out to here where we're using the hit slot. We're going to add another slot. So I'm going to drag off of this, type slot, and plug this into the output pose. And for this default slot, I'm going to select attack slot. Now we're using both hit slot and attack slot. And compile and save that. Okay, perfect. So we now have an animation montage called Enemy Attack with 4 different montage sections. We now need the ability to attack, which means we need to add some things to the enemy C++ class. So we're going to go back into enemy.h and add a few things. Here in the private section, we're going to add a new animation montage. So up here where we have our hit montage, we have the perfect U property for a montage, which means I'm just going to go ahead and copy this and then scroll down and paste it at the bottom of our private section and just rename this variable name. So I'm going to call this attack montage. So it's edit anywhere, blueprint read write, category combat. It looks great. And I'm going to change the comment to say montage containing different attacks. Now we have 4 different sections in our attack montage. And if we go into enemy.cpp and search for montage play, here's our montage play function call in play hit montage. And we're playing the montage, and then we're calling montage jump to section, and that takes an F name. So we're going to do something similar to this function play hit montage, only it's going to be for the attack montage. And the attack montage has 4 section names. So I'd like to create 4 section name variables. So let's create an F name, and let's call this attack L fast. And we'll create another one called attack R fast. And we'll also create the attack R and attack L. So let's do F name attack L and F name attack R. And let's go ahead and just initialize these in the constructor. So let's scroll all the way up to the top, and we'll say attack L fast. And I'm going to just use a text macro and use the string. And this montage section name is just attack L fast. Now let's do attack R fast. So that'll be a text with attack R fast. And we have attack L, which will be attack L. And finally, we have attack R, which is attack R. So we have 4 different F names, and we can use these to jump to the montage sections. Now, this can be done in a number of different ways. This is just one way that we can use to do this, but this is an easy way to just have a variable that contains the montage section name, and we can use that when attacking. So I'm going to give this a comment and say the 4 attack montage section names. And of course, in the future, we can add more, so it doesn't have to be just 4. Now, we have this montage. We're going to set that in blueprints. And we have 4 section names. Now I'd like to create a function for actually playing the attack montage and jumping to one of the sections. So let's go ahead and create a function for that. Now, looking back at enemy.cpp at playHitMontage, our playHitMontage function takes an fname for the section and a float for the play rate. So we can create a function just like this. So let's go to enemy.h here in the protected section, and we'll make a void function. And I'm going to call this function playAttackMontage. And this is going to take an fname called section and a float called playrate. Now this function I would like to be a U function so we can make this blueprint callable. And the reason I want this to be blueprint callable is I want to be able to call this from a behavior tree task in blueprints. So this will be blueprint callable. Let's go ahead and give this a function body. Now here we have playAttackMontage. Now in order to play an anim montage, we need to get the anim instance. So we're going to say uAnim instance, and we're going to use the mesh to get this. So get mesh, get anim instance, and we're going to check to see if this is valid. So if anim instance, and then we can simply play a montage. So we're going to say anim instance, montage, play. And we need to pass in the montage. So we have a montage here that we created, and it's called attack montage. So let's pass that in. And we also need to make sure that this is valid as well. So let's go ahead and add an and in this if check and say and attack montage. And once we play the attack montage, we need to jump to a section. So we're going to say anim instance, montage, jump to section, which takes an fname. We're going to pass in section. And then the montage will be attack montage. So we have this function now that we can call and pass in a montage section name and pass in the play rate. Okay, so now that we have this playAttackMontage function and it's blueprint callable, we can call this from blueprints and actually play an attack montage. Okay, so in the next video, we'll continue with this, and we're going to figure out how we can actually get our enemy to attack from here in the behavior tree. I'll see you in the next video.